Hey there, so my name is Ann McCormack, otherwise known as student u3068075. I am currently enrolled in the Promoting Positive Learning Environments unit, and this is my 5-minute teaching video for our annotated bibliography. The article I chose to do was titled Classroom Management Problems, Strategies and Influences in Physical Education. So it was written by Ann McCormack in 1997. The article deals with several classroom management strategies, but primarily deals with the preventative strategies used by pre-service teachers and experienced teachers. So as you may have guessed from the nature of this article, I am looking into preventative strategies used in classroom management. So this article or study, whichever you prefer to call it, was published in 1997, and so yes, it's a little bit dated, but it's still good, and was based in Newcastle. So it had 75 pre-service teachers, all enrolled in a Bachelor of Education majoring in physical education and health, and they were all at the University of Newcastle. And then it had 65 experienced teachers spread throughout the Newcastle area. So they were asked to fill out a questionnaire that had 4 parts, dealing with background information, problems facing classrooms, strategies they employed to combat these problems, and the influences that make them choose these strategies. So part A was background information, and it dealt with gender, age, experience in teaching, and also the gender composition of the classes. Part B was dealing with problems in the classroom. So it used a method previously set out by Weldel and Merritt in positive teaching, the behavioural approach. So pretty much it was just targeted to look at the types and frequency of negative behaviour in the classrooms. Part C of the questionnaire was based on classroom management strategies. So it looked at the 20 types set out by Tierney, and they were the preventative, supportive, and corrective actions that teachers could employ. So the researcher just used those as the base for it. And part C dealt with the influences for the strategy. So it looked at values, morals, previous teaching experience, and the rules and regulations set out by the school. Yeah, so the research done was fairly simple, and it had to deal with proven methods of ascertaining information in order to receive data. So simply meaning that they asked questions, got answers, and made all these pretty little charts and diagrams in their article, which was good for me because it means I actually understood it for once, which was rare in all these things. So the interesting parts of the article I found were part B and C, so dealing with what the problems were in the classroom and how the teachers would face it, so the strategies they employed. So the main problems that I had in the classroom was talking out of turn, getting distracted, and just not participating pretty much. So they then went further and split it into genders. So I found it interesting to find that females were actually a lot worse than males in all the categories. The worst for females was not participating and just being disobedient. Just, yeah. But for males, it was talking out of turn. So it was the same findings for both pre-service teachers and experienced teachers. So part C, the strategies that they employed. A lot of the pre-service teachers would try and encompass preventative strategies. They would put in rules and things like that, but they tended to go back to the supportive and would deal with commands and orders and things like that instead. So whilst they acknowledged that the preventative were the most effective, they didn't always use it because they weren't confident enough. Whereas the experienced teachers found that they mainly used preventative strategies. So they were using positive relationships, praise and encouragement, and we're just trying to have a genuine relationship and just being genuine in general to the students. If I had more time, I'd like to talk about part D, but I don't. But the most common influence for pre-service teachers was previous teaching experience, and for experienced teachers was their values and beliefs. Next. So I just want to talk quickly about the limitations. So it was only based off the students studying at Newcastle University, and it was only based off teachers in Newcastle. So that is one of the limitations, and it was only in the physical education sector. So it would be interesting to see what else was available. But yeah, I found this article really enjoyable and interesting, and hope that my little talk hasn't been too boring for you, and that you've actually learnt something and maybe want to go look at the study yourself or think about preventative measures. So yeah, so thank you. Bye.